This is CHAKRA. It is good to be able to come and speak with you beings, you human beings, you amazing human beings at this time. We are very excited, myself and the team, we're very excited to be able to engage with you in this way. Again, it's been a long time. We have been more or less spending our time watching you and seeing how you are progressing in your journey from fear to love, which is what you are doing on your planet Earth. It is why you are there. So we like to keep tabs on you because our job is to do that. Our job is to make sure that we offer you all the support that is possible so that you might fulfill your intention for making this journey as a human being. We won't spend a whole lot of time talking about the past in terms of the whys and wherefores. You can find that information anywhere. These days, if you check in with any entity group that has chosen to support human beings on their journey, the histories of why you are human beings, why you came to your planet, what planet Earth is all about. There are a catalog of information and details about that type of input. What we would like to address with you is our intention and why we chose to come through in the beginning and why we are coming through again now to you directly in this way. Years ago, when we first started our venture with Melana here, what we had decided was it was time for human beings to understand their power. It was time for human beings to wake up and realize that in spite of what you've been taught, in spite of what you believe about your abilities to do certain things, you have much more power than you could even imagine. And in spite of not knowing that, and in spite of not believing that, you have access to that power, and you can use it to your own advantage. Your advantage being learning how to be who you are, learning how to evolve, learning the truth of what it means to love yourselves and the power that's inherent in that. So we decided that the first order of business was to create a belief system so that you could have tools to navigate, to check out, to explore the inner workings of your being. Why? Because that's where your answers were going to be, inside of you. You live in a world where all of your information, all of the supposed important information comes externally. You have so many people, things, structures telling you what is and what isn't, what is real, what is not, what you should believe or what you shouldn't believe, what you ought to do and what you ought not to do. You live by guidance, external guidance. That is how you know how to navigate your lives. Well, one thing you have to understand about your planet, because of the energetic influence that governs your planet, which is fear, and you've all heard of fear. One very important piece of information that it would do you well to contemplate is that because of how fear operates, everything in fear is backwards. It's back to front. It's upside down. Any way you want to look at it, that signifies the fact that it is not straightforward. It is the opposite of the truth. Fear does not work with the truth. It does not function in the truth. It does not sponsor the truth. And it is in opposition to the truth. What is the truth? Well, the truth is love. If you take the emotion out of it, if you just step back and look at it, simply look at it, and understand it in a plain, clear way, you have two energies that govern reality. One is fear and one is love. One is right side up, one is upside down. Why? Because they are opposites. They are in opposition to each other. So, if love is the truth, then fear is the lie. We don't have to judge truth or lie at this point. We are just identifying the nature of these two energies. So, your planet is governed by fear, which means it's governed by a lie. Now, how did that happen? Well, that's a whole other story for another time. How did it happen that fear got the upper hand and has been able to rule planet Earth for a very long time? Well, things went back to the drawing board, and they have changed. Love has decided to take over governing planet Earth. But here's the rub. Human beings, in order to experience this shift in reality, have to make a conscious choice. You have to choose love. Love chooses you, and that's one part of the equation. Love has always chosen you. You have to choose love. Why? Why doesn't love just come in and sweep you up and rescue you? Well, because essentially it would be the same situation all over again. There would be an external force telling you what to do, what to think, what to believe, how to do, how not to do. You would be externally guided once again. Because without choosing love, you have no internal foundation or base for how it operates. You are just taking love at its word in the same way that you take fear at its word, and that hasn't worked out very well. You have to realize that you, like love, like fear, are a very big player in this dynamic. You are not weak. You are not the object of someone's rules and regulations to be manipulated and treated like a puppet. You can behave that way, certainly. Why can you behave that way? Well, for the same reason that you can stop behaving that way, because it's your choice. That's what you have to get in touch with. The only way and the only reason why fear has been able to do what it has done to you, to the reality on your planet, is because you don't realize that you are choosing it. You may not have chosen it out the gate. It may have been here when you got here, which is the case for all of you at this point. But here's the deal. You, at any point in time, beyond childhood, let's say, let's give you that coming in as children, you are too busy just trying to figure out what the lay of the land. You have no clue about conscious clue about what power you have. You stumble into it. Many of you do. And you go, whoa, as children, what was that? I did that. I could do that. But it quickly leaves your consciousness because you are too busy trying to figure out how to do this human being walk thing that you have to do. And so you rely on your parents and the adults in your life to take care of all of that, because you just can't be with it at this point. You're being with discovery about how to walk and talk and negotiate life. But once you get beyond that, we'll even give you your youth, your young years, your teenage years, where you are starting to figure out, I have a mind, and I have ideas, and I have beliefs that don't match up with the people that have been telling me what I should do and believe and how to behave, and I feel like it is time that I start to assert myself. See, that's the beginning. That's the beginning. That's when you realize, I don't have to do it the way I've always done it just because I was told to do it. It's the first sign that human beings start to realize they have the power of choice. Those teenage years that everyone gets so upset about, all the adults just feel as if things have gone to hell in a handbasket because their children have decided to think and test out the waters of their ability to choose. And it is a time where one is to be indulged, perhaps. In some households, in other households it's shut down, and in other households both the indulgence and the shutting down is at such an extreme that human beings in that time in their life rebel even more and can become self-destructive. Because, just a heads up for you, adolescents need to do that. They absolutely need to assert their right to choose. It is an awakening. It is the first stage of awakening. And everyone misses it. No one sees it. Wow. We raise these beings to be a certain way, and they get to this point, and all of a sudden they're starting to choose other things, other beliefs. There you see it. There is your power of choice. So, as I was saying, you have choice. You were born into a reality of fear, but you can choose once you've reached that point of rebellion, which is a very powerful place. You can choose love instead of fear. So, since you are all teenagers, and those of you who are listening that are still teenagers, listen up. You have the power to choose. All right, you've had it. For you adults, you've had it since you were teenagers. And when you reflect back on that time in your life, you can connect with that sense of, I get to choose. Well, fear is not unaware of this. Oh no. And the reality of you getting in touch in a very empowered way about your ability to choose does not work well for fear's agenda. So you are quickly immersed into all kinds of systems. Your educational system, and that goes on. That starts at a young age, and it just keeps going. And it goes through what you call your high school years, and then it goes through your first 4 years, and then that's your bachelor's, and then your master's, and then your PhD. You can be in that cycle for a long time. And what is happening? Your power of choice is being dampened down. because you're so busy being told what you should learn, what you should believe, what you should understand, who you should become. So that is how that works. So by the time you come out of the other end of that, at whichever level you are, you have lost a bit of your steam. You've been kind of, corralled back into the fold. Keeping with the program, you had your little bit of crazy at your teenage years, but hopefully that is, taken care of now, and you're ready to behave and live life the way it is designed on your planet. Well, some of you don't. You just know something's off with this, so you either reject or decide, I'm not going into that form of, bachelor, master, PhD. And by the way, there is no judgment on that choice. There is no judgment. Education is amazing. And you do what you do, and you learn what you learn, and you learn these amazing things, and you put them to use and create just phenomenal, realities based on what you've learned. So we have no judgment. We are just showing you what happens. You could do all of that and still be awake, but that's not what happens. And it is partially, that is what is used to put you back to sleep, so to speak, is all that input, all that telling you, this is who said what, this is how to do this is what you believe, this is the most brilliant person who did this is the most brilliant person who created that. These are all the beings, beliefs, and things that if you know these things, you are going to become a better person. But do you realize that in all of that, it doesn't tell you about what's inside of you, your own brilliance, your own abilities, your own creative, capabilities to do? It's all externalized. You are being guided to look outside of yourselves, continually, to be amazed, to be dazzled, to be impressed by the brilliance, the intellect, the creative endeavors of others. But you see, it doesn't enlist you. Now, there are forms of education when people decide to go into different areas of expertise. And you learn things for sure. You become doctors and lawyers and physicists. I mean, you do amazing things, and that is not the point. You go to schools of art and drama, and you learn how to play amazing instruments, how to dance, how to act. You are amazing in that way, what you can do. But still, the issue is that you are following form. You are following form that was created and designed by someone else for you to follow. Now, form following in and of itself is not a bad thing. We learn from those who have come before us, for sure. We pull on their wisdom. We pull on their vision. We walk in their footsteps. That is how we stay connected, and we learn from those who came before us. What is important, even in that, is to make sure that you are making your own original footprints, even as you step into theirs. Not to become them, but to take from them what helps you become more you. But the lines get very, very, very hazy because you do not receive a lot of information on your planet about you, except what you should do, how you should behave, what you should believe, but not about you personally. Who are you? Who are you inside? What goes on in there that you ought to know about? How do you feel? What do you believe? Who are you? When no one is telling you what to do, who are you? Where is your voice? Where is your choice to become? Because you have to understand something, and this is one of those things, if you step back and just look at it, it's very simple and easy to see it. If you are in a reality of fear, and you've been born into it and raised, you are not going to know yourself, because the agenda is to keep you well away from that. Because if you knew yourself, if you knew the roots of you, if you expressed the truth of who you came in before you forgot who you were, life on planet Earth would be very different. You would know you have a voice. You would know that you have a truth. You would know that bringing forth your agenda, why you came here, who you came here to be and become, you would walk that story. But if you started to walk that story, you would walk right out of fear. And that's why love is saying to you, go inside yourself. Tap into the truth of who you are. Bring love, bring some of my energy, the truth inside of you, to awaken and connect with your own